over to you, Anup.
All right, thanks, Sajna, and the entire team who was behind this initiative. Especially ഇന്നത്തെ ദിവസം നമുക്ക് ഏറ്റവും സന്തോഷമുള്ള ഒരു കാര്യം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മുടെ പ്രിൻസിപ്പൽ നമ്മളെ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തു. സോ ദാറ്റ്സ് അബ്സല്യൂട്ട്ലി നമ്മൾ ഒരിക്കലും പ്രതീക്ഷിച്ചില്ല ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സാറിന്റെ ഒരു സർപ്രൈസ് വിസിറ്റ്. താങ്ക് യു സോ മച്ച് സർ. പിന്നെ നമുക്ക് ഇപ്പൊ ഈ വെബ് സീരീസിലൂടെ നമ്മൾ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്ന കാര്യം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാല് എൻറ്റയർ നമ്മുടെ സ്റ്റുഡന്റ് കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി ആയിരുന്നല്ലോ, പ്രൊഫഷണൽ കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി ആയിരുന്നല്ലോ, പല ആൾക്കാരും we are not exposing ourselves online. So we thought, we'll make some topics which can enhance their professional presence in terms of LinkedIn, other aspects. Technical expertise, knowledge sharing basis, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കുറെ ടോപ്പിക്കുകൾ നമ്മൾ ഓൾറെഡി ഇത് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. So now as a part of that, നമ്മൾ ഫസ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ വിചാരിച്ച ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ തന്നെ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ വിചാരിച്ചു. So LinkedIn, how to maintain a LinkedIn profile and how this could enhance the online presence of our students and the professionals who are already working in the market. കാര്യം നമ്മള് എല്ലാരും ഓൺലൈനിൽ നോക്കിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, സോ വി ഡിഡ് റാൻഡം ചെക്കിൽ നോക്കിയപ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് എല്ലാരും for the sake of making a LinkedIn profile അത് ഉണ്ടാക്കി വെച്ചേക്കുന്നല്ലാതെ we didn't see any kind of ഒരു defined ഒരു strategy നമ്മൾ കണ്ടില്ല. So we thought as a alumni group, we thought we'll all sit together, we'll make a kind of advice or a strategy which can be shared to our students. Appa angane Sajna took the lead in bringing up this topic, and she did the research for the last 2-3 weeks, and she has come out with the slides because she worked for Oracle, and Oracle requires this to be professionally handled, if I'm not wrong, Sajna. Yeah, so now over to you. You can take it further from here.
Thank you so much, and thanks to all those who have joined. I really appreciate it because I can see that I'm somebody who believes that if you're having a growth mindset or a learning mindset, then you are on your path to success. LinkedIn is basically is a professional place. Like if you have Facebook or Instagram, if you are very social in Facebook and Instagram, it would be a shame if you're not there on LinkedIn, because that is where all your career decisions or your professional network is. So before I begin today's session, I would like to tell you a small story. So I was a student I was doing my master's in University of Wollongong in Dubai, and masters generally you will have a 1-year research also with it. So in Wollongong University a full 1-year research undarno. So I was asked to do a quantitative research, and quantitative research, in short, for those who don't know, it means that you have to conduct a survey to validate your research theory. Appo our research theory validate cheyanayittu enikku minimum 300 participants inde response venayirunnu. So what I did, what my research professor also told me is that you have to go and find your audience from LinkedIn. But the LinkedIn profile was not that great. It was 4 or 5 years back. It was not a fully professional LinkedIn profile, or I would say it was not a very well connected LinkedIn profile. I went into LinkedIn, I searched for people into the supply chain area because I'm into supply chain area and my research was also in the similar area. So I had to handpick 900 members from LinkedIn who fit the profile of my research audience. Now, fast forward 4 years, I was invited by a professor in MIT University, Dubai, who is connected with me over LinkedIn. She was one of the 900 members I invited. And though she did not provide any response to my survey, or though she did not actually do any value addition to my research, I was connected to her over LinkedIn, and she connected me. She sent me a message over LinkedIn and asked me whether you would be interested to do a supply chain master class for her students in the Amity University. Because I'm a supply chain expert, I've been working with Oracle for 1 year. I said, okay, I can do that and do it. And what she wanted was to do something on emerging technologies like IoT, artificial intelligence, policy technologies. Whatever it is, I did that class, and finally 1 year down the lane, this January, Amity University invited me to be. Sorry, just a minute. Okay. 1 year down the lane, this January, Amity University invited me to be part of their School of Commerce Advisory Board. In that advisory board, there are 25 members. Most of the members are C-levels or executives from top banks, top organizations in Dubai or in UAE. And what is the intention of this advisory board? It is to create a curriculum for the master's students and PhD students in Amity University, which is aligned with the industry. So the reason I'm telling you this story is because, and one more thing which I would like to add, and they said the reason they picked me is because I was one of the youngest members who have supply chain knowledge and also would be very much connected to the student community because I recently passed out my master's. So the day when I got call from MIT is when I realized that my network is my net worth. The reason I'm telling you this story is because for a LinkedIn invitation, it got me onto the advisory board of MIT University. A single LinkedIn invitation. So that is the power of LinkedIn. And that's why I really wanted to bring up that story out here. So with that being said, let's look at how we can rock your LinkedIn profile. Just giving you a brief of who I am for those who don't know me yet. I'm Sajna Samad. I am a supply chain consultant, certified supply chain consultant with more than 10 plus years of experience. I've worked with various organizations ranging from Cisco, Infosys, and now I'm working with Oracle for the past 2 years. I've worked with more than 60 organizations in the last 2 years to help them through their digital transformation journey in terms of cloud, in terms of technology. I'm also part of a community called Oracle's Women Leadership, which is a volunteering community within Oracle, which creates a connected, inclusive, and inspiring workspace. And finally, I've done more than 4 talks, 3 of them in Amity and 1 of them in Baselios itself to the students because I believe in giving back to the community. This is a slide which I present to most of my customers. So my job role is basically to sell Oracle products to my customers. I am a supply chain consultant, so I demo the Oracle solutions to my customers. And this is my introduction slide to my customers. And when you look at my LinkedIn profile, this is also what you will see. The reason I'm telling you this is you have to be consistent, not just in your LinkedIn profile, not just in your resume. Wherever you represent yourself as a brand, you should be consistent in your messages. That is one of the rules which I would like to tell you before we move into today's agenda. And today what we will see is 3 important things. 1, why should you be on LinkedIn? I think it will take less than 10 minutes because most of us know why. How can you rock your profile? That's where we'll spend most of our time, around 40 minutes. And the last 10 minutes we will spend to hear out your questions and to see how you can create your own professional LinkedIn profile. So I think we are, what's the time now? 15 minutes, okay. So let's look at why LinkedIn. Generally, what gets you a job is mostly not just your credentials, experience, or skills. Okay, all that matters. All that does have an influence on how you will, whether you will get a job or not. But what if 2 candidates have the same credentials? Which in most of the cases, it's a fact, right? Most of the cases, interview board interview similar master degree, similar qualifications, how would you differentiate yourself then? Your personality, how you presented yourself, and finally how you strike the chord with the interviewer would be that which differentiates you. It is the same with any opportunity. It's not just with interview, it's same with any opportunity. The personal impact you make ensures that you stand out from the crowd. Now let's take a look at why LinkedIn is what that can help you stand out in the crowd. Anup, can you run the poll? Let me just try to understand how much we all know about LinkedIn before we move into how to create the LinkedIn profile. So, Anup. Okay, അപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ സ്ക്രീനിൽ ഒരു പോൾ ഉണ്ടാവും, ഒരു LinkedIn poll ഉണ്ടാവും. So you have different questions, you have 5 questions on it. You have to just respond yes or no. Yes or no, or whatever is the responses. Be honest, it's an anonymous poll. Nobody is going to catch you for what you responded. So just respond to what you have, the poll in progress. Can you all see the poll? കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. We are getting it.
Okay, great.
So we are getting responses. We have got almost 12, 15 of 32 participants. Now we have 17, 18, 19, 20. 21. We have നമുക്കൊരു 11 പേരും കൂടെ ഉണ്ട് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട്. ബാക്കി so now we have 26. 6 more to go.
Okay. Let's wait for a few more minutes. 27, 28. Those who joined late, we are running a poll on how much you know about LinkedIn, whether you have a LinkedIn profile, etc. Just join the poll and respond to the poll.
സജനയ്ക്ക് കാണുന്നുണ്ടല്ലോ അല്ലേ?
എനിക്ക് കാണുന്നുണ്ട്.
Okay.
Okay.
So at least we can go with this. I think it's
yes,
fine.
We can go with this. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I'll end the poll, and these are the results. Let's. Results. Sorry. Can you see the results, Anu?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So I'm very happy that at least 90% of you have LinkedIn profile. The remaining 10%, that's okay. That's totally okay. You still can go ahead and create a LinkedIn profile today, and you should be having a LinkedIn profile if you don't have it yet. Is your LinkedIn profile a copy paste of your resume? 55%, 45% say yes. So today we will look at how to tweak it. Yes, it should be it should be consistent with your resume, but it should not be your resume as such. So we will see how it should not be a copy paste of your resume and how you can make it different. 55% says no, that's great. How many users join LinkedIn every second? Let's see. It's an interesting one. Okay. Actually, it is the answer to this question is it is 2 users join every second. So two people create LinkedIn accounts every single second across the world in 200 different countries. Do you understand the implication of that? It opens up, LinkedIn opens up a network to you which was not at all accessible to you earlier. That is a huge source of network which you can tap into, which you can make leverage of. So if you are at least connected to a few of them, when you are going for an interview for a job, you will at least know one single person in that organization. If not, you can connect with them, you can talk to them, you can discuss with them, and probably they can even refer you. So the answer to that question is 2 users per second. What percentage of recruiters use LinkedIn to research and recruit candidates? It is actually 93%. 93% of the recruiters, irrespective of the industry. Don't tell me that your industry is into engineering and construction, your industry into civil. People don't go on to LinkedIn. I work as a supply chain consultant for the engineering and construction industry. For all of my customers, I have seen at least their C levels executives have a very strong LinkedIn profile, a very strong LinkedIn presence. So 93% of the recruiters actually research. Even if they might not find you, they might find you on a resume system or on Bait or Naukri, but at the end they come and research you on LinkedIn. So that shows you how important it is to be on LinkedIn in terms of a recruitment as well. Do you believe that referrals can get your job quicker? If yes, 94% of you believe yes, it's true. 2/3 of the jobs generally you get is because of through your network. If somebody have referred you, those people are given preference. So for example, in Oracle, if you have an opening, it is first open to the internal employees to apply. So we can refer somebody or we can apply on it. Only if they don't find anybody from a referral or from an internal person, that's when they go out and find the candidates. So now you understand how important it is to be within the network of the highly qualified professionals. So I'll just stop this sharing. And this is exactly what I wanted to share with you as well. Why you should be on LinkedIn? 600 million plus users in 200 countries. That's the network you have. It's up to you how you want to use that network. 93% recruiters use LinkedIn to research and recruit. The kind of exposure and exposure you get to hiring managers or recruiters in organizations, especially in MNCs, for multinational companies like Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, പോലത്തെ multinational companies, they always hire through LinkedIn. അവരുടെ കരിയർ പോർട്ടലിൽ അവർ പോസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്താലും അതേ ജോബ് പോസ്റ്റിംഗ് അവരുടെ വെബ്സൈറ്റ് അവരുടെ ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ പേജിലും അവർ പോസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും. ആ ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ പേജ് വഴി നമുക്ക് ഈസിലി അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യാം. Sometimes some of the applications are so easy. If you go to naukri.com or date.com or any other kind of website, for you to apply, it's very difficult. You have to fill in a long form with 50 different fields, etc. പക്ഷെ ചിലപ്പോൾ ലിങ്ക്ഡിനിൽ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you have an option called easy apply. If it is already enabled, they pull out all your information from LinkedIn, and that is what the recruiters use. From recruitment perspective, if you have a premium account with LinkedIn, you will also be able to see when you apply to a job, where do you stand with respect to other candidates. That LinkedIn provides that kind of analytics. If you have a recruiter, if you have a job seeker premium account in UAE, I think it's around 100 dirhams. I don't know how much is it in dollars. I don't remember. If you are looking for a job, that is an investment that you can worth putting into. When I was looking for a job around 2 years back, before I joined Oracle, I enabled a premium account. I enabled it for 9 months. 10th month-ലാണ് എനിക്ക് Oracle-ൽ നിന്ന് call വരുന്നത്. So even my job opportunity within Oracle came from LinkedIn. And 2/3 of the time, employee referral gets the job. So I think this kind of summarizes why you should be on LinkedIn. I don't have to give you more reasons why you should be on LinkedIn. So now we will move into how we can rock your LinkedIn profile. So before we move into the profile in itself, I would like to give you 3 golden rules on LinkedIn. Okay, this is something which you should remember every single time you interact on LinkedIn. First one, be authentic, be uniquely you. That's why I said it's not always your resume, because your resume is probably you have copy pasted. I have done it. I have copy pasted many sections from many places. Most of the times my objective would be a copy paste from the internet. It's the same in case of everyone. So what we have to create in LinkedIn is an authentic profile of yours, and try to be unique as much as possible. And that's how you will stand out in the crowd. And I would say you are your brand. So in your professional settings, you are your brand on LinkedIn. Create that brand on LinkedIn. It's not easy. It could sound very overwhelming. I took around an year to create my brand on LinkedIn. Similarly, everybody will take, because it's an evolving process, but you have to start somewhere, and today is a good start. Second, be professional. It's not Facebook, it's not Instagram. okay, it is okay to be personal to some extent, but there is a thin line you should not cross. You will know as a student, as a professional, you should be knowing what should go into Facebook, what should go into LinkedIn. There are some things which are personal that can go into LinkedIn, but not more than that. So be professional. And your aim should be to build a network and not a database. So it's not about having 1,000+ connections on LinkedIn. No, it is being connected with connected in the sense personally connected, at least a hi, hello, or if you can, or I would say hi, hello connection on LinkedIn. At least if you ask something, that person should be able to add some value to you, and you should be able to add some value to that person. So, number creating a LinkedIn, creating a network. It's not a database of people. No, it should be a network which you can tap into when you need to. You need not be connected with 500+ people on your LinkedIn every single day. പക്ഷേ എപ്പോഴെങ്കിലും നമുക്ക് ആവശ്യം വന്നാൽ നമ്മൾ സെർച്ച് ചെയ്യാണ്. ഇപ്പൊ ഒരു ജോബ് ഉണ്ട് ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ കമ്പനിയിൽ, ഞാൻ സെർച്ച് ചെയ്യാണ്, എന്റെ നെറ്റ്വർക്കിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരാളുണ്ട്, അയാളെ എനിക്കൊന്നൊരു ഹലോ പറഞ്ഞ് ഹൗ ആർ യു പറഞ്ഞ് എനിക്ക് അയാളുടെ അടുത്ത് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒന്ന് റെഫർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ എന്ന് ചോദിക്കാനുള്ള ഒരു കണക്ഷൻ അതുണ്ടായിരിക്കണം. And how can you make that? So for example, what I do is when I have on a regular basis, I pick up some of my connections and send them, hi, how are you? How are you doing? The COVID-19 crisis in the summit, I hope you all are happy and safe. Just a hi, hello, how are you? People will be very happy. People will stay connected with you. So build a network and not a database. And are 3 golden rules on LinkedIn. Do we have any questions so far?
We don't have any questions, Sajna.
Okay. So now, how can you create your profile on LinkedIn? So I assume that most of you, like there are no 90% people in profile under. So I will not go into the intricacies of creating a profile. You as an internet savvy technology people, you know how to create Facebook profile. Atrayum simple time LinkedIn profile create cheyanam. പക്ഷെ നമ്മളിപ്പോ സംസാരിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത് എന്താണ് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു പ്രൊഫൈൽ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ നോക്കേണ്ട മെയിൻ ആയിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ. So I would like to start with this. Do you know what is your brand? Jeff Bezos, Amazon, he says a brand is what others say about you when you are not in the room. So, or let me rephrase it. Even when you go out of a meeting room, or when you are with a set of people, when you are out of that room, what do they say about you? 3 key things. What do they say about you? That is your brand. So it can be, for example, when you go for a job interview, or you are on a sales call, since it's something which we can all relate, what is the brand you're selling first during the conversation? For a job interview, first sell you have to sell yourself. You are the brand there. You are selling yourself in front of that interviewer. So you are the brand. So when creating your LinkedIn profile, it is important to differentiate yourself from others who are in the same industry and hold similar roles as you. How can you create that brand? I would say look at and identify 3 to 5 top skills that represent you. What are the 3 to 5 top skills? So sit. You have to do this. You have to sit down. You have to allocate time for this, and you have to be very patient with yourself. You have to identify 3 to 5 top skills that represent you as a brand, and that should be your starting point of your LinkedIn profile. That you will get from your resume. Probably you will be able to identify, okay, these are my top 5 skills. If you're a student, you will know you're an electronics communication engineer or electrical engineer. That is your technical skill. What is your soft skills? Are you a good presenter? Have you been part of Crossroads? Have you participated in different activities? So that can be your 3 to 5 top skills. And remember this, it evolves. As you move in your career, your 3 to 5 top skills evolves, and your LinkedIn profile also evolves along with it. So there is no perfect LinkedIn profile. So it's okay. You can start with the basics, and then you evolve as you as a professional evolves. What I will do is I will use my profile, which is I would say around 90 to 95% to what a LinkedIn profile should look like. because I'm into Oracle, I'm working in a sales organization. They audit, Oracle audits our LinkedIn profile to see whether it is presentable to our customers. So that is the reason I'm presenting it to you, because it's been audited by my organization, and it's around to 90-95% of what a LinkedIn profile should look like. So before we go into my profile and see how you can create your own, let me give you 3 inputs. You have to write your own story. You have to think what you want to give, what you want to tell the recruiters who look at your profile. You have to think through it a bit. It's not same as your resume. That, I think that point is clear. And you have to be concise. Whatever you write, you might write a paragraph in your resume. You cannot have a paragraph in the LinkedIn, because you should be more concise. When somebody browse through your LinkedIn, they should be able to see the key things which you want them to see. That's the power here. You want them to focus on specific things. That's what you should have on your LinkedIn profile. So let us look at my LinkedIn profile. I'll open my profile now. Okay, can you see my profile now?
Yeah.
Anu?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with the profile picture. As Anu earlier mentioned, a profile picture should be professional. So you can have either a headshot like what I have here. It's a headshot where you have your head and just the shoulders, but it should be at least it should not be like a full picture of yours. That's not what LinkedIn recommends. LinkedIn recommends a headshot, and the photo should contain only you. You should not have your pets, you should not have your children. This is not your Facebook profile. This is your personal profile, professional profile on LinkedIn. You can have a dark background. You can have a background which is blurred. It's totally up to you. But the photo should be a headshot with the shoulders seen, with all of your features seen, and with a light smile. It will not be like you smile like as if you're partying. No, it's with a slight smile on your face. That will be the right kind of profile picture for your LinkedIn profile. The background picture can be anything which can be a conversation starter. So for example, for me, this is a picture. I'm a person very close to nature. I love nature, and this is a picture from one of the Oracle hubs in Amsterdam, and I really love the river, and that's why I just put this picture, because it's just a conversation starter for me, that I'm a person who loves nature. And sometimes there are other people in the call who likes nature as well, so we have a conversation to start with. It can be anything. It can be probably a skill which you have developed. It can be even blank. It's okay. It's not necessary. That is a background picture. Now, your name. Your name, if you have a certification with you, for example, you have a PMP certification, if you have other certifications, have that certification along with your name. So for me, I'm a CSCP certified, I'm a certified supply chain professional. So I have that certification along with my name. You would see that with many people, they have their certifications along with their name. It doesn't mean that it should be a long trail of certifications. It should be the key certifications you want people to have focus on. So for example, if you are you're going to look for a job in a different industry, and you have a certification in that industry, and you have opened your profile to your recruiters, you can focus on those certifications. You don't have to focus on all the other certifications. So that is why I said the LinkedIn profile is something which keeps evolving as your direction of your professional life changes. And this is what LinkedIn calls a headline. What a headline means is basically 1 to 3 key areas which you want everyone to see. So generally, when you look for a person in your network, they see your name and they see your headline. So when people want to connect with supply chain professionals, people want to connect with specific credentials, or recruiters want to connect with people from specific areas, the headline is something which they can see and identify if they want to connect with it. I would say keep it very concise. So for example, I am working as a cloud supply chain consultant. I'm working as a cloud supply chain consultant in Oracle. So and I'm using my profile extensively to connect with my customers. So I have written one of my headlines is leading supply chain transformations using cloud. And that's what I do. And I'm also a part of MIT University Advisory Board. I have put that as well. So basically a headline should be very short, 2 to 3 points. This is leading supply chain transformations using cloud is one, MIT University is another one. I can have maximum one more, but not more than that. So that's your headlines. Your most recent work experience and your education, most recent education will by default come here. It's up to you if you want to show it or not. When you're creating your profile, it will ask whether you have to show the education on your intro. If you are interested to show, please show it, because it actually creates a credibility with the people who sees you through the network. Now, a very important section of about. What I said earlier was you have to be professional, but you can also be personal to some extent. Again, that is a conversation starter. When you're going into a meeting and somebody have browsed through your mobile, through your profile, and they have seen that, oh, you are a football player or you love movies, or something which can help you with a conversation starter. Have that as your first sentence. What actually that does is basically that gives you a personal connection. People like to be connected with other people. They don't like to be connected with computers. Basically, they like to be connected with people. So give an about one sentence of what you love. It could be travel, it could be football, it could be something, it could be Xbox games, whatever, PS4, PS3, whatever you like to do, which can be a conversation starter in your professional life. It could be when you walk into an interview, your interviewer might ask, oh, you like movies, what kind of movies do you like? And probably that might be a conversation starter, and there you might strike a connection with the interviewer. You never know how people get connected so easily on some specific personal things. Football could be a very good conversational starter. Whenever you are writing your about, have one sentence, not more than that, just one sentence, which gives you a sneak peek into what your personal interests are. And there also be very cautious on what you would say, because probably that is something somebody would ask you about. Then whatever you write here is something what you want your recruiter or your professional network to want to see. I would say write your own story. Don't copy paste it from anywhere. Even if it's not the best, it is unique because you wrote it. Let's make your your LinkedIn profile a unique profile rather than copy pasting anything from anywhere. So write about what you're passionate. Write about 2 or 3 things what you do. So for example, I'm working as an Oracle consultant. This is what I do in my professional work. So I have just put it as bullet points, and use bullet points as much as you can. Use bullet points on the areas you want them to focus. If you're open if you're open to give your contact, especially if you are in a recruitment, you are in a career job change mode, you would want to give your contact. So in my case, I'm giving my contact because my customers generally contact me through LinkedIn, and they have to see my professional email address. So that's why that's out there. If you are looking for a job, you have to have your contact in your about section. It could be your email address, it could be a phone number. It's up to you which one you want to expose to the network, but at least they should have one particular contact. Sometimes they'll also contact you through LinkedIn when you're on a job search mode. So this is basically the about section. These 2 sections are very important because whenever somebody comes on to LinkedIn and looks at your profile, this is what they first see, and it is based on this they will decide whether they want to go below and see the remaining part of your profile or not. Okay. Then you have a section called featured. This section is where you can have your articles featured. For example, I write some articles on supply chain, on some certifications, any kind of articles, any kind of information you want to share, you can create a LinkedIn article and you can feature it over here. And that gives you a credibility. So if you're looking for a job in a particular industry, and if you've written an article in that particular industry, the recruiter now gets a overview of what do you know about the industry. So that's a very good way to expose yourself and a way to stand out from the crowd. Oh, this guy knows about engineering and construction, how the engineering and construction industry has been progressing in the last few years, and what is the future of engineering and construction industry. That means he is up to date about his industry, and I'm looking for a civil engineer, for example. So this articles is a great way to stand out. If you can use it, please use it. It could be, it's totally up to you. And this is also a way you can be unique in your profile. Now, this is my dashboard, which shows how many viewed my profile. That doesn't matter. The activities doesn't matter. Now, from an experience perspective, you have to put down all your experience as much as you have it. And when you put down your experience, make sure you tag the organization. As long as you have as long as your organization have a LinkedIn page, it has a logo, it builds a lot of credibility within when you say about the experience, it builds a lot of credibility. So use the logos whenever you are adding your experience. Whenever you search for the company name, it will show you the company LinkedIn pages already. You have to choose the right LinkedIn page of your company to ensure that the logo of the company appears here. That is very important because that makes your experience more credible. I'm not saying if your company doesn't have a LinkedIn page, it's not credible. I'm just saying that as long as you have it, please make use of it. Anup, do you have any questions?
No, as of now, yeah, we have one from is LinkedIn article better than portfolio blog?
What do you
That
mean
means,
by
Don, I think you are pointing to personal blog. I believe he's pointing towards personal blog. So whether he can, yeah.
I would say if you have written a blog, if it is something which is a professional blog, why not post it on LinkedIn as well? Because
exactly.
You have a professional network who is on LinkedIn every single day, who are looking through your profiles. And I would say whenever I have posted articles, for example, I posted this article about how you can work towards nailing your CSCP series. And after I posted this article, I have received at least a lot of at least I would say 10 to 15 invitations from across different professionals, not just from supply chain professionals, but from different range of professionals. So whenever you post an article, you get an exposure that you had never had before, and it's totally up to you whether you want to accept them or not. I generally don't accept every invitation I get because I want to create not a database. I want to create a network. I want to create a network of people whom I can add value or who can add value to me. So it is always, since you have put an effort on writing a blog, if it is professional enough to be shared on LinkedIn, please share it on LinkedIn as well. And that's my answer to that question, Anup.
Yeah.
Don, I hope that answered your question. Let me just go back to my profile for the sake of time. Okay, so when you're giving your experience, we mentioned about tagging your company, mention all the other information which was required from when to when were you working, etc. And at least for your first 2 or first 3 of your experiences, have a small write-up of what you achieved during that particular particular stint. So for example, and make sure that it is 4 or 5 points maximum. So what LinkedIn recommends is first give a brief about what your organization is, because it's not necessary that everybody know what your organization does. So just give a brief 1 sentence of what your organization is. It could be the organization's mission statement, or it could be the kind of a brief about what exactly your organization does. Or just giving everyone. Okay. It could be the mission statement of the company. In my case, I just put the mission statement of Oracle, or it could be a brief about what your company does. After that, give 4 or 5 points maximum. The 5 key points you want the recruiter to know. 5 key points you want your network to know. Put that on the experience. And that key points, let it not be like, I have worked on many projects, for example. I have worked on many projects, I have achieved so and so. No, be quantifiable. So for example, if you have worked on 10 projects, mention, I have worked on 10 projects in which 5 of them were huge projects, like 10 million projects or 5 million projects. Be quantifiable as much as possible, because many doesn't mean anything to the recruiter. When you say 5 projects, when you say 10 projects, that means something to your network, that means something to your recruiter. So whenever you mention anything, be as quantifiable as possible. So for example, I wrote supported more than 80 plus customers, because the number of customers I support keeps changing. I just wrote 80 plus customers across the particular region. For it can also be any kind of KPIs you have met. If you're into sales organization, any kind of KPIs you have met. You might have won some awards within your organization. Mention that. You can also have your awards or any kind of certificates you received during that experience tagged here. So all of that actually creates a profile which is more friendly to the eyes, also more easy to read, and have the relevant information which you want the recruiter to know. This is very important. Are we clear on this point? Okay, I think yes, I hope yes. So since I'm not looking out for a job, I have only given my experience for 1 or 2 of my of what I've been doing. So since I was part of the MIT advisory board, I put that also on my LinkedIn, because that adds a different flavor to my profile. Now people will understand that I'm not a person only into selling Oracle products, but I am also into giving back to the community by doing some other activities. And that is a point I will come to at the end of the profile, where there is something called volunteering experience, and it's an amazing way to stand out in terms of your profile. If you are looking for a job, if you feel that experience of any of the remaining organizations actually matters for that job, please add it. You have to add them. Again, 4 or 5 key points which you want the recruiter to know. It is not your resume. It is a profile which gives them a sneak peek, or I would say a headline of what you did in that organization. It will be very difficult to choose, but choose what it is quantifiable. 10 projects, 5 projects, 10 million projects, whatever it be, 10 million worth of projects, whatever it be as quantifiable as possible. The education, I think we all know it. Again, the ground rule is, whenever you tag, find the organization and tag it. If you have the university LinkedIn page, tag that LinkedIn page, because that gives them a flavor of what the university does. So they can go back to the university and see how the university is performing, and that can also add to your credibility. In the university experience, you can again add, if it is something which is relevant to your professional experience, add them. So I have worked on some IT infrastructure projects. I have worked on some reports. I have done a research on supply chain area. So I have mentioned all of that, which is from a university perspective. I didn't mention the courses here. I didn't mention what is my score here, nothing like that. I just mentioned what did I learn as key areas. What is your key things which you want the recruiter to know, or your LinkedIn profile to know? That is a ground rule. So whenever you put anything on the LinkedIn profile, think, is this adding any value to me? And will it make any sense to the recruiter or the network who sees it? Again, in terms of education, you can add all your education information over there. Now, another very key area in a profile is your licenses and certifications. If you have done any certification, if you have received any certification, whatever it be, add it over here. So I have done a lot of soft skill development trainings. So I have added those certifications over there, because that again gives you a different flavor. So now you know that I'm a technical person. Now you know that I'm a supply chain consultant. Now you know that I did my master's. Now you know that I also have other soft skills which I have developed using different kinds of certification. Certification means trainings. So whenever you go for a training, you get a certificate, and then you can just add it over here. It could be the LinkedIn trainings. You have lots of LinkedIn trainings. You have Coursera trainings. You have EDX trainings. Whatever training it be, just mention it over here as your licenses and certifications. Again, that adds to your profile. Volunteering experience. If you have worked with Crossroads, so for example, if there are students from we are students from MBCETAA, so that's why I'm mentioning Crossroads. You have worked towards making Crossroads a success, where you part of the event management committee. Put that over here, and also when you put that, just mention what did you learn during that experience. 3 or 4 points. What did you learn? Did you go onto the stage and present to your team for the Crossroads? Put it over there. Did your team win something? Put it over there. It could be anything, but quantifiable things, put it on the volunteering experience. It could be any kind of humanitarian works you did. It could be a part of any community work you did. Whatever it be, put it over there, and that makes an impact. Again, giving a different flavor, a unique flavor to your profile. So that is the volunteering and experience part. Another one interesting aspect we have in LinkedIn, which I haven't explored much, to be honest, is skills and endorsements. So you can endorse some other your members in your LinkedIn network can endorse you for specific skills. You can add your own skills. So when I was looking out for jobs, I actually added some skills, because sometimes when recruiters search, they search with skill keywords. So I added this during my when I was searching out for a job before joining Oracle. I added some of the skill sets which I felt that the recruiters will look. Make it keywords, because it will then appear on their search. They might search with skills. They can also search with skills in the supply chain or personal some self-awareness, emotional intelligence, whatever it may. So if you have done any certification on that, or if you have read about it, it's not necessary that you have done trainings and certifications for everything. You might be an extensive reader. You might have read books on it. You know what a particular skill means, and you know what it means. You should know it, because when you go in for an interview, probably they will ask you about it. So you should know how to speak about it. If you know, add into your skill sets, and then others can endorse you on that. And when you have more endorsements, that gives you a better credibility in terms of the skills you have. So what you can see is how many people have endorsed me. 19 people have endorsed me on Oracle Business Suite data migration, for example. So you can also see how many. So when a recruiter goes through these skill set, they can see how many people have endorsed you on each of those skill sets as well. Another one, very powerful. Every time in a resume, you're always asked to give at least three references, right? Every time when you send your resume, or probably after you send your resume, they shortlist you, they will ask you for 3 references. Very powerful way to build your references is recommendations. If you are not using recommendations, then I would say it's a shame that you're not using it, because that's such a powerful way for others to endorse you on LinkedIn, and it's public. So it's not like a reference call you make to somebody and somebody can just lie on the call. I'm not saying they will lie, but I'm saying it's something only the recruiter and the other person hears. But when somebody else is giving you a recommendation, that is worth 1,000 words. Because when a recruiter is browsing through different profiles and they see the kind of recommendations other people have given you, you can request recommendation, you can give recommendations. Make sure that you don't give and take from the same people, because it looks as if you had some kind of a deal. But try to have a diverse set of recommendations from different people. It could be from different experiences. So I have some from Infosys, some I have from Cisco, from my teammates in Cisco, some from Oracle. So try to make it as diverse as possible. And even probably I can ask one recommendation from Anup, because Anup have been working with me with MBCETAA for quite a long time. So try to make it as diverse as possible and as authentic as possible. Even to the person who is giving recommendation, tell them to give you authentic recommendation. Okay. So please make use of it. It's a very, very powerful reference part of LinkedIn. You can ask for recommendation. Here is an option to ask for recommendation. You can also give recommendation. Accomplishments. This is a next section which you can use if you want to, because generally what I would say, whatever key things you want your recruiter or your profile, your network needs to know, put them in the about or the experience or in the education sections. Anything else, so for example, in my University of Wollongong or in my bachelor's, the subjects I have learned, I don't want to put them and clutter my profile over there on the top in the education area. So what I've done is I've added all those courses over here. It doesn't clutter my profile and keeps my profile clean and clear for those who are seeing it. And they can then focus on the key things which I mentioned on the top. So any kind of courses, any kind of projects you have done, anything which you want to give a little bit overview, you can mention it over here. And again, you can mention details of it. The recruiter can go into the details and see if they want to see the details. Again, the same rule is applicable here. 2 or 3 points which is quantifiable, which makes a difference for you, which adds value to you. That is what you have to give here. Then interest is basically any kind of groups you would join, any kind of groups you would join, companies you would follow, any kind of people you would follow. That is what your interest is. So again, all of that will give the person who is looking at your profile an idea of what you as a person is. And that is exactly why I said LinkedIn is not your resume. Your resume doesn't give any information about who you are as an individual, who you are as a person. Your resume will look very similar to for example, my resume will look very similar to any other electronics and communication engineer's resume if I had given it as it is. But or supply chain consultant's resume, if I would give it as it is. But this brings in a personal flavor. The LinkedIn brings in a personal flavor in a professional context. And that's very important because people connect with people. Okay, so this is how you would create your profile. I hope I was able to make some points here. Do we have any questions so far? If not, I will move in to how to connect.
Sajna, there is one question. Since you are a professional, you have so many details to include in your profile. How can a fresher make the LinkedIn profile interesting?
Okay. I think from the place you would be different. Okay, let me just start from here. The picture and everything, it's common for both of us. There is no difference. The headlines, it's the same. Mention what you as a student would like to project. So are you electronics and communication engineer? Mention it over here. Are you part of the Crossroads committee, or you are in the Senate of Crossroads or Senate of Baselios? Mention it over here. Whatever 2 or 3 points as a headlines. About, I'm going just very quick, about the first statement, it's a personal statement. It doesn't have anything to do with my experience. Write who are you as a person, and mention here, think what value would you add to an organization. So if you're going to a recruiter and you're a fresher, so for example, when I was a fresher 10 years back, I would have written probably I'm an electronics engineer with experience in so and so projects. So I've done the mini project and the major projects in these areas. And what was my 3 or 4 key learnings? Again, this should relate to the industry you are trying to tap into. So if you're an electronics engineer, you might write, I don't know how much electronics have changed during this situation, but I'm just saying probably I am a MUPI expert, for example, or I could be an IoT expert. Yeah, that's something which I can use, or a blockchain expert, whatever it be. So just mention what did you learn, what are the key learnings, what are the main projects you did, and any key, any significant achievements. Probably you went out of Baselios to do some other activity, which is a technical fest. Mention that. So even though I mentioned in terms of Oracle, you can mention it in terms of the educational experience you had. And I think from nowadays, if you are a student of MBCETAA, you are extremely lucky, because Crossroads is not just the event Baselios is doing. You're doing a lot of technical events, because my brother keeps saying that he have some auto show for mechanical, he have some other show for, I don't know, he keeps talking about many things which is happening in our college and also outside our college. So this is why I'm saying, that's why I was mentioning when the principle, when you create your LinkedIn, you should start creating it from your first year, because then you will know what are the skills that I require to uniquely identify myself from the crowd. Then you will look out for opportunities to make that skill sets. So you will look out for more technical events to attend to. You will look out for more other activities to be part of, because now you should understand that in the current job landscape, your technical skills will not just be enough. You will have to develop additional skills like soft skills. You'll have to develop project management skills, like running an event in Crossroads. It's similar to doing a project. Actually, it's very similar to doing a project. So you have to develop those kind of skills, and you can develop it even when you are studying. That's what I would say. From article point of view, you can even, being a student, even then you can write articles. You can still write articles from your experience, and your network would actually even understand. So even for me, I would like to know what is happening in the electronic industry, for example. If you write an article about it, I would be interested to know about it. So don't underestimate your knowledge, because everyone have a different perspective, different view of what's happening in the industry, and your voice also counts being a student. Experience, yes, I understand. From an organization experience perspective, probably you'll not be able to write anything as a fresher. That everybody understands, because you are yet to do something. But generally, we go for. I remember we used to go for during our time, we used to go for industrial visits. We also used to do some mini research or mini internship kind of things in Doordarshan, in telecoms, etc. I don't know whether we are still doing it. If you are still doing it, you can put that over there. You can mention what did you do, what project did you do with that company. So that makes your experience. As a fresher, that is enough. That's what they're expecting. Your education, I think you have license and certifications. You can mention if you're taking any IEEE related members you are, or you're taking any certifications from that perspective, you can mention that. So volunteering experience, again, it's not something related to my personal and professional experience. It is again something which you can build during your university. So I don't think there is, other than the experience part, there is any other section where you should get stuck with. If you are, you can contact any of the alumni members or me if you want us to help you with it, to give you an overview of how you can probably build your profile. You can contact us, and we can give you our inputs. But I think you also have enough information to put it onto your profile. Okay. Is that fine? I don't know who asked the question.
No, it's okay. I think, Sajna, that's all. You can continue.
Okay, so now let's see. We saw how you can create a profile. We'll see how now you can use it to network. So once your profile is created, you have to network. So if you're a student, you can network with your own student community. You can network with other student communities. You can network with your alumni members. Very important. Your alumni members can be your referrals. They can refer you. So connect with your alumni members, and whatever it be, whenever you, what is the value you provide to your network? It's not necessary you always write articles from scratch to create value. It's not necessary that you invent your own posts create value. What you can do is, you can also, if you're into a particular sector, if you are interested in a particular sector, I'm going into electronics because that's what I was doing during my bachelor's. So if you're in electronics and communication engineer as of now, or you're doing electronics and communication, you have to be part of LinkedIn groups which are into electronics and communication. You have to follow companies like Cisco, Dell, other electronic companies which is actually into the electronic industry. Follow those kind of companies, follow those kind of groups, what will happen is in those groups or in the pages of those companies, they will share interesting articles. They will share a very interesting product they have invented, and they're going to have it on the market. Or they will share how the electronic industry is progressing in the future. Anything which you find of interest, you can just reshare that article. That in that way you are creating an engagement with your audience. So those audience might not be part of those groups. Those audience might not be linked to those following those companies. So whatever it be, it's not necessary you have to create your own articles or posts. It can also be anything you reshare within your network from other entities or other groups. So there is something called LinkedIn groups. If you don't know, please check it out. Subscribe to those groups which are interesting to you, and then you will get interesting articles which you can reshare in your LinkedIn page. Also follow different companies. You can follow people. You can follow your alumni members who are into that particular industry. They might share something. You can reshare it. So it's all about how you would add value and engage with value to your network. Another one thing which you can do is whenever your network is sharing something, you can comment on your post. This is again what I mentioned about how you would connect with your different members in your group, in your network. It's not possible for me to send a hi hello to 500 plus members in my network, but whenever somebody shares something, I can just comment on that particular post, and that keeps the connection going. Thank people. So if somebody have created an impact on your professional life, thank them. Or in your student life, there is an option called endorsements on LinkedIn. So when you click on your posts, there is something which comes out saying that you want to thank a co-worker or thank a team member. Do that. That creates an engagement. That creates a value within your your community. Recommend someone. You can proactively, you saw somebody doing an extraordinary work at college or in your office, go proactively recommend them. That creates a connection. That creates a network again. Okay, so that's something which you have to do in terms of using LinkedIn to network. Whenever you send an invitation to anybody, so for example, you are sending an invitation to your alumni member, or you're sending an invitation to another person, always personalize it. It could be like, hi, hello, I found your profile very interesting. I'm a supply chain, blah, blah, blah. I would like to be connected with you to know more about the industry. Personalize your invitation. Just don't press connect and send it. No, you can personalize your invitation before you send your connection request. Personalize it as much as possible. It's a very 1 or 2 sentences all that you can enter. That's more than enough to get you connected to that person. Because if you send a personal message to that person, when you are sending the connection, there is more probability. There is around 80% probability that the connection will accept your request. Okay, and finally, you met someone, then connecting with them is very easy. On LinkedIn, it's very, very easy to connect if you have met someone, and I'll show you how. Okay. Let me show you this. So how would I connect with somebody? For example, I went into a presentation with my customers. I want my customer to be connected with me. So what I do is I have a QR code. So for example, in LinkedIn, you can generate your own QR code. How would you generate the QR code? I'll show it you. So in your mobile application, if you have the LinkedIn application on your mobile, you will see an option as shown here. You click on it, you will be able to scan the QR code. So for example, you two people are meeting during an exhibition, or you are doing a presentation. What you can do is you can have your QR code shown to that person, and they can just scan it, and automatically it takes you to the profile of that person, and then you can easily connect. So here you are scanning the QR code of the other person, and so for example, I can generate my own QR code from this section. So for example, here it's a scan of the other person's QR code. Here I can also see my code in this section. If I click on it, I'll see my code. I can have a copy of it. So it's not necessary, it is not necessary I be connected to internet every time. So I can have a copy of my QR code on my phone. And if somebody wants to just connect with me, I can open my QR code, show them, they can just open their camera, scan the QR code, and then we are connected. And for your QR code, you can see your code, you can share your code with someone, you can have the QR code on your presentation. So what we do is, we always have at the end of the slide a QR code on our presentations, which our customers can scan. So if you are into sales, this is something which you should definitely have. You should have your LinkedIn QR code on the thank you slide of your presentation, or you can ask them to just scan it and then be connected with you. Because that is your network. It's better to be connected with your customers, better to be connected with the people you meet very easily and very quickly, and LinkedIn helps you to do that. You can also save it to the photos and have it as an offline QR code. The other option is, so for example, I'm in an exhibition. I'm not talking to anybody. I want to connect to people who are in the radius. So for example, I am in Dubai World Trade Center. There is a huge exhibition of 200 plus people going on. I want to connect with all those people who are near that particular area. So I am in the technology area. In the 100-meter radius, I want to connect with the people in that particular area who are on LinkedIn. So what I can do is, I can just open my Bluetooth. There is another way of connection. Then I can find nearby connections. Very easy. If others have opened their Bluetooth, you will be able to see all those connections and then send them invite. So even though you have not had a personal meetup with that person might be standing two rows in front of you. If you want to connect with that person, you can open your Bluetooth and then just find nearby people. They will list all the nearby people who are having a LinkedIn profile, and then you will be able to connect. We use this specifically in trainings, because when we go into a training and we want to connect with all the members in that training community, we ask them to, by the end of the training, we ask them, all of them, to open their Bluetooths, and then we easily connect with each other. So we have had two days trainings or 1 day training. We have 10 different people in the room. We want to connect with each other. It's a very, very easy and very powerful way of connecting. So that is the LinkedIn connection part. Do we have any questions so far? I'm almost at the end of my session. I'm sorry, I've taken.
Sajna, you go ahead. We'll do a live review request which I have received for one of the participants. So I'll do it from my side.
Okay, so that's great. So what at the end, one thing which I would like to tell you is, basically, if you want to find how well your LinkedIn profile is doing, you have an option to find it called a social selling index score. So let me just show you how to do that. So if you just search on Google saying that how to find your LinkedIn SSI, you will get a particular. I will share this link with you. But if you just search how to find your LinkedIn social selling index score, which shows how well your LinkedIn profile is doing in terms of other people in your network or within in general, you can use the find your SSI score, and this will show you the areas where you have to improve your LinkedIn profile. And this is a very good way to reflect on how to improve your LinkedIn profile. So for example, I'm doing so far good. I'm among the top 2% in my industry. I'm also in top 6% in my network. Okay, that is great. If I look at my score in building relationships, that's the best. But I'm not very good at engaging with insights. So that means I have to engage with more insight providing information to my network. So I have to be sharing more articles. Because of COVID-19 crisis, I have not been sharing much of the information these days, because I feel that you have to be more compassionate with people, and I should not be trying to sell my products or sell things as of now. So that's why I've just put on a hold to my posts on LinkedIn. So that's why I engage with insights. It's a bit low. Finding right people. Am I finding the right kind of people? Okay, it is fine. The score is good, but that's I could probably improve on it. How I'm good at establishing my professional brand. I'm not bad. I'm more than 15 or 50% of what the score should be, but I could still do something to establish more of my professional brand. This is the daily SSI score, which LinkedIn provides you by default. Anybody without any premium account, without any charges, they can provide you the insights. But if they want them to provide you information on how to improve it, like exact tips on how to improve it, you will need to have a premium account. You can also see how your people in your industry is doing, how the people in your industry is engaging. And there is an option called, if you're into sales, this is something which you can actually look at. LinkedIn have something called Sales Navigator, where through which you can approach your customers more efficiently and more quickly. That is something you can look at. But I generally don't use much of it, because I'm into a pre-sales role more than a sales role. So I only connect with customers which my sales team brings in. So, but in general, this gives you an idea. I just want to show you this, because once you create your profile and have your profile running for some time, you can just go into this link and see how you're doing with your LinkedIn profile, where you have to improve, and that gives you an insight about how your LinkedIn can be improved. So that's the SSI score part. Okay. Now we are at the what section. That means we are open for questions. Then I will need 1 minute to close. Anup, we can open for questions now.
Yes, one question which we have is when viewing some profiles, I can't see their name. Instead, it's a LinkedIn member. Why is it like that? Because that profile is redundant. You know, they are not using it, or either they are not active, or it's been dismissed from the LinkedIn.
No, it is basically because when you create a LinkedIn profile, there are different ways you can make it. There are different security settings. So as you have security settings for your Facebook profile, there is a security setting for your LinkedIn profile as well. So some people like to keep it hidden. That's a profile they set up. That is why generally it shows as LinkedIn member. And one more point, which since you mentioned this, Anup, thank you so much for mentioning this. It is seen that if you don't have a profile picture, generally people don't accept your invitations. If you have a profile picture, you have at least 10 times chance of your invitation for being accepted. Because when you don't have a picture, people don't. If somebody cannot even show out their picture, then it's. I think people are not very comfortable in being connected with them. So make sure, if once you're creating your profile, at least have your profile picture. That's the answer.
Yeah, I think Sajna, you can go ahead. We are running late.
Okay, so just 2 more slides and then I'm done. Just as we conclude, I understand that it is very overwhelming. It's very overwhelming, but just remember that you are never alone. If you want us to help you through your LinkedIn profile, we can do that. Also, you can lean on your own community. You might have your own brother or sister or your cousins or your friends who are doing great with your LinkedIn. Reach out to them, ask them for help. And it's not necessary you look at your profile, you tackle all of your profile at once. I would say, I remember, Anup, you asked me, right? The time I spent to create this profile is across months. Because it's not easy to just come up with things and then put it on your profile. It's not very easy to do that. So generally, take your time. So you say that, okay, I will work on my about section today for an hour or so, 2 hours or so. Let me focus on my about section today. Let me focus on writing my experience today. So divide it into chunks and make it into small blocks of time, and tackle each of those sections in different times at different times, and that would help to actually make a better profile. And don't think you have to have a perfect profile. No profile is perfect. Even my profile is not perfect. You saw my SSI score. It's not perfect. So there is nothing like a perfect profile. So just be honest with your profile. Be unique in whatever way you can. Just give me a minute. Okay. Yeah, and do it in small steps. And finally, this is the answer to the other question also. Whatever it be, just remember that no matter what you do, what your background is, or where you are in your career, you have got a unique story to tell. So let your story shine with your LinkedIn profile. Make it a point to continuously improve your profile as you progress in your career. So if there is one thing I would like you to remember during the end, as we come to the end of the session, it is this: you are your brand. Tell your story and make it count. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thanks, Sajna. Thank you for this amazing presentation. So everyone who are here, we as alumni in Middle East, we have put in a lot of effort in delivering this kind of topics to you guys. So we will also require proactive participation of all of you guys in these kind of events for your skill enhancement. So ipa namakku kittiya request ennu parunathu, so I would request Don Cora Jacob, if you are online, could you please come online and say hi? Don, because I think he dropped off. I don't know whether Don, are you there?
Yeah.
Don, you'll have to unmute yourself again. Sorry.
Okay. Now it's clear. Okay. Right.
Yes, you can speak.
Okay. Okay. I was just focusing on LinkedIn for a while, and I have made my profile a little bit okay. I got some connections. I will show that. I will share my screen. Can you suggest some improvements in my LinkedIn profile? I will.
Sure.
Don, can you stop sharing your screen? I can share. I have your profile with me. I'll
Okay.
share it with you. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Hold on. So this is Donna here. Request cheyidonde. So we will go through a live review of Don's profile. Okay. So Sajna, as
I can't see his I can't see his profile actually.
you can't see. Okay, hold on.
I think it's a different screen you're sharing.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, this is my profile.
Yes.
Okay. Can you go through it and tell me some suggestions to improve my profile?
Sure. I'll just quickly go through it. I lost it.
I am a first year student.
Okay. Anup, we lost the share.
Wait. I'm trying to find it back.
Okay.
Don, you can go ahead. You can go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So
it's
can
not
you
a full
see
screen.
this?
I can see it, but it's not a full screen. Can you make it a full screen? Or probably here. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Full screen.
Okay. First of all, you have to share. Let me just start from first. First of all, you have to change your picture. If it was a suit without a flower, then yes, it would be okay. But since it's a flower, it's very evident that this was from some kind of engagement or from a celebration which you had. So it's better to have a professional picture. When you take a professional picture, take it with a suit or with just a shirt. With a shirt with collar would do. That would be okay. Does the background picture have any story to say? Since you're an entrepreneur, I assume that it could be your organization. I don't know. Does this
Actually, I just I actually posted a cool picture. That's it.
okay? You just posted it because it's a cool picture. That's fine.
Mm.
Try to find any other background. Probably
Okay.
something without you would be great.
Okay.
If you're posting it with you, be sure that you're professionally dressed.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Uh,
that is fine. Your headline is fine. I don't understand what Flutter developer is, but I think people who understands it would know it. It could be
okay.
some kind. What is a Flutter developer?
It's a mobile cross-platform development platform. Okay,
Okay,
so
that's great.
like iOS developer.
Okay, entrepreneur designer. Okay, innovation incubation advisor. That's great. So your headline and everything is fine. Can you
Okay.
go below?
Okay. Actually, this was I told you about. I have not put it kept any articles in LinkedIn. I just linked my portfolio blog, so it will
Ah,
direct to the blog.
that is fine. That is fine. This is great.
Okay. Actually, yes.
Yeah, because this
Don,
is
can you just go back?
Okay. I actually my okay.
I think it opened a different tab. It opened a
Yeah.
different tab.
Okay. Okay.
See, this is exactly, sorry, don't move. This is exactly what your feature should look like. So you have a featured article either on LinkedIn or it's linked to your blog. That is great because now people who are looking at your profile understands that you have a blog of your own who is into technology. He's writing a lot of articles. That's great. This is
Okay.
this is this is what how you should use your featured section. And that's good.
Okay.
But this is perfect. Now can we go down?
Okay. Then
Activity is fine. Your experience. No, activity is fine. Can you go
Come
down?
down, come down.
Okay.
Hold
In your
on.
experience, it's great that you have tagged your companies rightly. Second one, what you have to do is, as a Flutter developer, just think what you would like the recruiter or your professional network know about you. So probably I don't know. Probably you created a COVID-19 application using Flutter. That is something which you can mention it over here. Whatever it be, whatever you did during this internship, anything which you want your network to know, mention that in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 points.
Actually, I'm doing another work. It's COVID-19 work was my own.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing another work in innovation. It's
Okay.
production stage. It's not yet. I have completed the application. It want to be checked and verified to move further.
Okay.
So,
And in that case, just mention what, first of all, Innovation Incubator Advisory does.
mm,
Okay.
okay,
That's first one. Second one, mention what is your role as an intern. What is your role? You don't have
okay,
to mention what you achieved because you don't have any quantifiable achievement so far. That is
okay,
fine. Mention what, for example, if you ask me, I don't know what Innovation Incubator Advisory does. So first have one sentence on what your organization does. Second, a few sentences or few words on what is your role in as a Flutter developer. Okay.
okay, okay.
The same is for all the others. The third one, the Alpha and the Omega group of companies. Is it your own?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you are
my
the
startup.
co-founder.
Actually, not registered.
Okay, you can have a LinkedIn page of yours created, and then you can, if you have a logo, you can link it here. But
Okay,
it's
okay. How can I create one LinkedIn page?
you can create a
Don,
link.
the LinkedIn page create ചെയ്യണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ you can check with Sherry, നമ്മുടെ അവിടുത്തെ ടീച്ചർ ലെക്ചറർ ഷെറി ആയിട്ട് ചെക്ക് ചെയ്താൽ മതി. ബിക്കോസ് ഡോണിന്റെ ഈ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ സെക്ഷനിൽ ബസീലിയസ് കോളേജ് ഓഫ് എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ഇവിടെ പോയിന്റ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന പേജ് റോങ് ആണ്. ഈ പേജ് ഓൾമോസ്റ്റ് താഴെ
Okay, okay.
almost almost 1 year. I think Sherry, if you're there, correct me if I'm wrong. Almost 1 year ago, e page നമ്മുടെ കോളേജിന്റെ ഒഫീഷ്യൽ പേജ് ആയിട്ട് ക്ലെയിം ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട്. So ensure you point to the proper Baselios college page.
I have to change my education as well.
Yeah,
Because
Sherry.
Yeah, when I created, we
Hello.
did not have a page, so I used University of Kerala. Now I'll point to the right page.
Yeah, Sherry.
We now have
Parnolu,
official
Parnolu.
MBCET. If you search for it, you'll get it.
Okay.
Okay. It's what's the name? It's the same name.
And you can add that to
Okay. Edit. Can I?
You can do it now itself. You can delete that. Yeah, search for that same one, the first one. Yeah, Mark Baselios. You can type Mark Baselios. The third one. The third one.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to save it. Save it and click OK.
yes, that's the page.
Okay. So what Anup was mentioning is that if you want help in creating a LinkedIn page, it's easy. You can either Google it or you can ask Sherry also how to create. Creating is one part. Maintaining is something which Sherry can really help you with, because that's what Sherry extremely
So
does.
Sherry has taken a lot of effort, Sajna.
Yes.
He has done an amazing job reaching out to LinkedIn, and he claimed our anonymous page, which was running all throughout our profile. Now it is
Oh.
official. Now it is official, and now it is under our college ban.
Okay, that's great. So you can reach out.
Thank
You can
you.
reach out to Sherry for it. So then licenses and certifications, that's fine. That section is fine. The volunteering experience, again, if you can give a brief about what you did there and what the impact you created, that would be great. So
Okay.
every section, rather than just having the headline, if you can give 1 or 2 points of what impact did you create, that is where because everybody can be part of Google Developer Group. But what did you do over there? That's more important. Okay. Skills and endorsements, you can add new skills. I think you have added some. You can add some skills. Yeah, and interests are good.
Okay. How to approach for a recommendation or a referral?
If you go up, I think
You can search my name. For instance, you send me a request now. You can search my name.
and then ask for recommendation.
Yes. Yeah, you can go there. Next to that, more.
Okay.
No. You go to Anup Babu's page.
Wait a second.
You can search.
Yeah.
You can search. You can search on the top.
Search. On the top, you have to search for Anup. Okay.
You can ask on the right side next to the message. Next to the message. Next
Go
to the
up.
message.
Go up.
On
Okay,
top.
okay.
Top.
On the top.
Yeah. Next to the message. Next to the
Okay.
message.
Okay. More. Okay.
More,
More.
yeah. You will find request recommendation.
Okay.
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 See, these kind of things you can get all this references online. Either whether Google or YouTube search, you can get all these things sorted out. This is how we sorted out. So Sajna, so thanks Don. I think we are running so late. Yeah.
Make my fast also. So I would like to thank everyone. Thank you so much. I hope this session was informative for you. If there is anything we could help with, your alumni members are here, so you can reach out to us. You can connect with us. You have to connect. I would say you have to search for all your alumni members and connect. We will also circulate my Baselios College LinkedIn profile within our community, so that our community is also connected to the LinkedIn page. And please add us to your network, and we will be there with you for whatever help you need.
Sajna,
so you have to leverage your alumni network as well.
Yeah, sorry, Sajna, to add on top of all these things, I would recommend നമ്മുടെ facultyism, നമ്മുടെ college staffും ഈ പറഞ്ഞ college faculty members എല്ലാരും ഇതുപോലെ ഒരു പ്രൊഫൈൽ മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻ ചെയ്യണം എന്നുള്ളൊരു റിക്വസ്റ്റ് നമ്മുടെ സൈഡിൽ നിന്നുണ്ട്. കാര്യം we have so much of resourceful faculties in our college. Yes. And we don't have any source of their tracking. For few of them are there, but not everyone. So I think അത് ഒരു ഭയങ്കര ഒരു ഇമ്പാക്ട് ആയിരിക്കും. ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ കോളേജിൽ നിന്ന് പാസ് ഔട്ട് ആയി പോയിരുന്നാലും ബാക്കിയുള്ളവർ നമ്മുടെ അലുമിനി ആയിട്ടൊക്കെ കണക്ട് ചെയ്തിരിക്കാൻ ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് ഹെൽപ്ഫുൾ ആയിരിക്കും. ആൻഡ് ദേ ക്യാൻ ഓൾവേസ് യൂസ് ദിസ് പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം ടു publish their PhD thesis and related topics which they have done their research on. So all this kind of things. Then ഫ്രഷേഴ്സിന്റെ അടുത്ത് എനിക്ക് പറയേണ്ട ഒരു മേജർ കാര്യം കാര്യം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് യൂസ് ഫുൾ ഇംഗ്ലീഷ്. ഈ പറയുന്ന യു ആർ മറ്റേ ഫേവറേറ്റ് FAV അങ്ങനെ ഷോർട്ട് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ഡിസ്കവർ ചെയ്യാതെ നോക്കുക. Try to use full English. Don't try to invent your English. So ensure that you follow normal standard English. If you don't English.
One more thing I would like to add in that point is, whenever you mention anything on LinkedIn, make sure that it's professional, because it's a professional network. It's not Facebook. പിന്നെ നമ്മൾ about section പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ, അവിടെ ഞാൻ മിസ് ചെയ്ത ഒരു പോയിന്റ് എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ, when you're writing your about, write as I. Like, don't write as a third person, write as you are writing. So I am എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് എഴുതുക, I was doing so and so എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് എഴുതുക, rather than writing like Sajna was into so and so, Sajna was അങ്ങനെയല്ല. As first person വേണം നമ്മൾ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ സെന്റൻസസ് എഴുതാൻ ആ പ്രൊഫൈലിനകത്ത്. പിന്നെ Anuv പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ, always, every time, try to use professional language on LinkedIn, when you're commenting, when you meet in your profile, anywhere, because it's a track of everything what you do. Yeah, Anuv, sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. So second thing is, see, for example, there are many CEOs and many people who handles their pages are handled by social media agencies. So if that's the case, they can use so and so person is into so and so sector for so many years or whatever it is. So yeah, then if you are using, ipo oru company il work ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്, ആ കമ്പനിക്ക് ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ പേജ് ഇല്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അവർ ആ കമ്പനിയിൽ പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ പേജ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാനെങ്കിലും പറയണം. കാര്യം ആ കമ്പനിയുടെ ഒരു ലോഗോ ഇല്ലാത്ത ഒരു കമ്പനിയിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്ത ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ ഒരു പ്രസൻസിൽ, if you don't have a company who's, because that shows the level of competency of the companies where you work. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു കമ്പനിയിൽ ഇപ്പം ഈ പറഞ്ഞ ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ പേജ് ഇല്ല, അവിടെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്ത ആൾക്കാരുടെ ഒരു ട്രേസിംഗ് കാണുന്നില്ല, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവരുടെ റെഫറൻസ് ഒന്നും എടുക്കാം. there are many companies, ഈ പറഞ്ഞ എല്ലാവർക്കും ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ പേജ് ഒന്നും ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന വരില്ല. But still, at least you initiate that process to start a LinkedIn page for your company, whether it is a 2-man army company or whether it is a 3-man army or 500-man army company. പിന്നെ ഇപ്പൊ ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ പ്രൊഫൈൽ ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ഫ്രഷേഴ്സിന്റെ ഒരു പെർസ്പെക്റ്റീവിൽ പറയുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, യു മസ്റ്റ് ബി ഒപ്റ്റിമിസ്റ്റിക് ഓൺ വാട്ട് യു ആർ റിയലി ലുക്കിംഗ് ഫോർവേഡ് ടു. എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, നിങ്ങൾ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയിൽ, ഏത് ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയിലാണ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ താല്പര്യപ്പെടുന്നത് എന്നുള്ളത്, യു ഷുഡ് ബി, ദ റിക്രൂട്ടർ ഷുഡ് feel like you are focused, you are persistent, you are consistent in maintaining what sector you are focused on. അപ്പൊ അത് കുറച്ച് നല്ല രീതിയിൽ ഫോക്കസ് ചെയ്യണം. പിന്നെ സെക്കൻഡ്ലി, എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ഇല്ലാത്ത ആൾക്കാർ എങ്ങനെ ആ പ്രൊഫൈലിനകത്ത് ഇതിടുന്നത്? ആ ഇന്റേൺഷിപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്ന കുറെ സ്ഥലങ്ങളുണ്ടല്ലോ, ഇഷ്ടംപോലെ സ്ഥലങ്ങളുണ്ട്. ഞാൻ ചെയ്ത ഇന്റേൺഷിപ്പ് ചെയ്തത് എനർജി മാനേജ്മെന്റ് സെന്ററിലാണ്. സോ ഈവൻ അതിന്റെ പ്രൊഫൈല് ഞാൻ കാണാതിരുന്നിട്ട് പോലും ഞാൻ അതിന്റെ ഡയറക്ടറിനെ വിളിച്ച് പറഞ്ഞു, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കുറെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മൾ പ്രൊആക്റ്റീവ് ആയിട്ട് ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്. സോ അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് ഗെറ്റ് ഇൻവോൾവ് ഇൻ ടു many other extracurricular activities like IEEE, Toastmasters, TEDx, MAD. പിന്നെ ഇപ്പം ഈ പറഞ്ഞ COVID-19 സിറ്റുവേഷൻ തന്നെ, അതിൽ തന്നെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയാം, ഇനി വരാനിരിക്കുന്നതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ കുറെ കൂടെ നമ്മൾ എല്ലാവരും സെൻസിബിൾ ആയിട്ട് എൻവയൺമെന്റിൽ ആക്ട് ചെയ്യണം എന്നുള്ള ഒരു ഫേസിലോട്ട് പോവാണ്. സോ ബി സെൻസിബിൾ ഇൻ ഡൂയിങ് ആൻഡ് ഷോ കേസിങ് യുവർ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ഓൺ ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ. സോ അതിലും കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ഒന്ന് ഫോക്കസ് ചെയ്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നത് നന്നായിരിക്കും എന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. സോ മോർ ഓവർ, നിങ്ങൾ എപ്പോഴും നിങ്ങളുടെ ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ പ്രൊഫൈലോ സിവിയോ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക്, ലുക്ക് ഫ്രം എ റിക്രൂട്ടർ പെർസ്പെക്ടീവ്, ലുക്ക് ഫ്രം ഹിസ് ഐസ്. ആ ഒരു പുള്ളി കമ്പനി നടത്തുന്ന ഒരാൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രൊഫൈൽ കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, why they should hire you and for what purpose, അവരെ എടുക്കുന്ന ജോലിക്ക് നിങ്ങളുടെ പർപ്പസ് മീറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടോ ഇല്ല എന്നുള്ളത് നിങ്ങൾ ജസ്റ്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യണം നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രൊഫൈലിൽ. സോ ദിസ് ഇസ് വാട്ട് we have to say from our side. If you have further questions and further details to be shared or further topics which you want to discuss on, we are there. We are there on all the social media platforms. We are trying to be we are trying to reach out to as many as people we can. We are getting in touch with everyone in person. So feel free to drop us a line. If you want a one-point contact to reach us out, you can always reach your lecturer, Sherry. Sherry is in constant touch with every one of us. So we are there to help you guys out. And let's take this forward.